Thanks for watching us here on Mediaweek. Well, let's just continue the feature interviews. Mediaweek's James Manning filmed at the MCN Upfront in the past week. He also spoke to Mark Frayne, MCN's National Sales Director, and asked about how technology is changing the ad sales business.
I think this year we've been talking about the two worlds of television colliding. I think in probably the last 18 months we've seen the threats from the US, the YouTubes, the Facebooks of this world kind of really start to be aggressive in the space and attack the share of television advertising. So we've long been recognising that collision, and for us we've been working on the solution to bring those two worlds of television. So from a technology point of view, that's what we took the agencies through today, to say that MCN has got a plan. It's got a plan to bring traditional television and online video together through one interface to make it as easy as possible to trade those two screens together. So we've kind of embraced what is a big challenge for the industry.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken to you in the past too about you know, travelling overseas, looking at the latest trends, looking for solutions here you could use for your clients. Are you still doing that, or have you starting to build some of your own?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt we are fans of overseas trips. I think you've got to travel the world to really understand the trends, and you've got to speak to the people that are driving those trends. So, yeah, in the past 2 or 3 years, we've gone to the US and the UK regularly, and for the first time this year, we've seen that what MCN has been doing in terms of the multi-view panel that Anthony's spoken about and the landmark trading proposition, that we've probably for the first time taken a bit of a leap ahead. In only the past couple of weeks we've had both the ITV, which is the leading free-to-air broadcaster in the UK, and Sky actually kind of respond back to MCN and go, you guys, you've taken a leap ahead of us now. Can we come over and see you guys, understand what kind of proposition you've built and how you're taking that to market? So on that basis, we kind of feel like we've hit the right thread, the right tone, and certainly captured the imagination of now what's possible through technology.
And we're talking in the MCN house, great view overlooking Sydney Harbour. You've got Group M in here today. You spend about a month or so, different agency every day. Is this the only time you see them during the year now, or has it just all come down to people doing, you know, working on their screens? Is there much interplay between you and the agencies anymore?
Oh, I think there's no doubt that looking out there, this is the highlight of the year. I think we get more time with the agencies in this intimate environment than we probably do for the rest of the year. But what we've built in terms of the screen interface and the automation in terms of kind of trading is freeing up more time to have conversations. I think that's the beauty of it. I think many of us talk about the notion of automation, mechanisation is kind of changing the way we're going to work, and the robots of the future are going to transact everything. It's kind of true to some degree, but it's about actually freeing up the time of trading media. In the past used to be so labour intensive. If we can kind of fix that through automation, we're probably going to have way better, significantly more productive conversations with agencies and clients in the future. So this is the catalyst to have better, deeper conversations going into next year.
Tell us quickly too a little bit about the Qantas deal. I think that's been, you know, not quite a month yet. You've been on board there. What's involved that, and what's the response been like for clients? Yeah,
the Qantas deal is another nice feather in MCN's cap. I think we've set our stall out in terms of we want to be a data-led and video business, and the Qantas deal extends our relationship with Sky News further into more and more screens. So from MCN's perspective, we recognise that audio-visual content and video content is winning the day and kind of capturing that core minute of kind of consumers' interest, no matter what screen it's being broadcast on. So MCN's ongoing acquisition trend is around video content, and the Qantas deal is a brilliant extension of that, and really kind of takes Sky News as an ongoing broadcast brand through many, many more screens. So yeah, it was a perfect acquisition given the heritage of MCN and the vision we've got for the future.
Time for a look now at some of the other news about this week with Mediaweek's James Manning. James, interesting because of course we heard earlier last week, we were asking you about the commentary from Nine CEO David Gyngell talking about the impact that online streaming is going to have on their regional affiliates.
Might bypass their regional audience, yep, correct.
And now reports this week that Nine potentially is considering shunning Win Corp. The deal expires.
We've heard all that before, haven't we? We thought, look, there was some almost falling out with Win Corp, and was it argy-bargy before another contract renegotiation? Speculation they could end up with Southern Cross Media. You know, I don't think the contracts align between Win and Southern Cross, but so we'll have to see what happens. But it seems a very big call at this stage to think about going straight to your regional audience by streaming content.
Also, David Gingell's scotching rumours that he might not be there for the long haul when it comes to his contract.
Yeah, that was a piece in the Australian. He spoke about, look, he's on a new 3-year contract which he signed when the IPO went through just about 12 months ago. He's still got 2 years to run on that, and he said, look, when that's up, I'll be pushing for another contract to see me through after that, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
We also heard last week about the ABC budget cuts, and now we've had the ABC going through with the cuts as a result of that funding reduction. Just in terms of this, what sort of implications are there for the commercial sector as well in areas where ABC's retreated?
Minor stuff, like there's some sports now that they can pick up, like Australian rules football in the other states, both 9 and 7 are very, very keen to get in and pick up the state footy, not because it gets big audiences, but because it makes the AFL happier. You know, it's a feeder for some of their players, so they like being involved. And some women's sport too, which Fox Sports would look at. You get some reasonable audiences. I think the women's league in the football, the soccer, whatever you want to call it, the women's basketball, the WNBL, does reasonable numbers, and it's probably something that Fox Sports could pick up.
Seeing 9MSN, the latest digital publisher to undergo a facelift. This, though, obviously after that split with Microsoft affected audiences.
Yeah, look, it's cost them a little bit of audience. People, I think, used to get spat out of Microsoft's MSN, the email service, and you'd end up back on 9MSN. So that was great for their numbers. They don't get that traffic now. So 9news.com.au has been doing some interesting stuff around streaming live content, and 9MSN's been working at their offering to their audience, and they've been sort of relaunched their homepage this week. More to come next year.
Change of newsreaders at Adelaide's Channel 7. What happened here?
Yeah, Graham Goodings is out. He's been a long-time 7 employee over there in Adelaide. He's been reading the weekend news of late. 7 said they offered him another role, didn't specify what it was. He said, look, I don't really want to do that, so he's gone. Some people thought he was sacked. 7 says no, he certainly wasn't.
Also, because talking about technological change, what that's doing to ad trading and the rest, newspapers have launched a print trading exchange, Bid on Print.
Bid on Print, yeah, it launched this week. The sort of foundation members of the newspaper works were Fairfax, West Australian Newspapers and APN have all signed up straight away. News Corp not on board yet. We think that'll probably happen next year, but they're still sort of just, they've got a lot on at the moment and they haven't committed yet, but I think it'll happen next year.
Will it help ad revenues?
It will. It'll help stabilise at least what they've got, maybe lift them a little bit, make it easier for advertisers to get on board. How much? Well, we're not sure.
Let's have a look at the TV ratings now, if we could. This is for week 47, free-to-air top 10 first, and news there featuring in the top 5.
Look, ABC in the top 5 there again. Australian Story, look, having a great end of the year for the broadcast, doing really good business. We'll see in the a second show from the ABC, their Countdown. 2 shows in the top 10. Doesn't happen often for the ABC, but they're making the most of what's been a little bit of a slower November for some of the commercials channels.
Just having a look at subscription TV, top 10 as well there, and we've got some football.
Yeah, just one A-League in the top 10 there, so yeah, those numbers are off a little bit for the A-League, I think we could safely say.
Just wanted to quickly ask you, we're in the last week of survey for 2015 for free-to-air. Some big shows have been winding up.
Yeah, look, seen the end of Big Brother this week, Big Adventure for 7, Dancing with the Stars. You know, the hardest decision there will probably be Dancing with the Stars for 7 and Big Brother. You're still doing, Big Brother does great demos, Dancing does, you know, pretty big audiences given the other shows on offer, so I think they could be back. You think Big Adventure, probably not for 7, I don't think. We've seen the one and only appearance of that.
We'll pick that up next week as well. I think, James, thank you so much for
Bridie.
that. James Manning there from Mediaweek. That's all we have time for from the team here. Thanks for your company.